Now I want to leave you with 4 questions that I'm left with after reading the 7 letters to the 7 churches, and they are these. Number 1, it's like having an examination paper at the end of the teaching, all right? This is the test. Question number 1, have you an adequate view of your Lord? Here we have a Lord who is a rich personality with names and titles, with aspects that maybe we've never even thought about. You know that he says, I am the bread of heaven, I am the resurrection and life, I am the good shepherd, I am the door. Do you know he once said, I am a worm? That's one of his statements. It was on the cross, of course. You read it. There are things about Jesus that we haven't seen yet. Have you got an adequate view of your Lord? All his names and titles. This magnified Lord. The fullness of the Godhead dwelt in him bodily. According to one tradition, 5 feet 10 high. I'm 5'8.5", and the half is very important. But he was only just a little bit above me, and all the fullness of the Godhead dwelt in him bodily. Have you got an adequate view of your Lord? That's question number 1. Question number 2, have you an accurate view of your church? And I'm really meaning, do you see your church as Jesus sees it? His view. You may see it as alive, but he may see it as dead, and vice versa. Have you an accurate view of your church? You need to see both the good points in your church as he sees them and the bad points as he sees them. You need to be honest. You need to be realistic. Some people can only see good in churches and some people can only see bad. He could see both where there was both. But there were some he couldn't see good and there were some he couldn't see bad. We need to look at our church through his eyes. I'm sure as I've gone through the letters you've been wondering, which is my church? You know? Well, it could even be a mixture. But see your church as Jesus sees it. Not as you see it, not as the pastor sees it, not as the people see it, but as Jesus sees it. 3rd question. Have you an accountable view of your duty? I cannot help but notice that Jesus never told anyone to leave their church and join another. He said, stay there and overcome there. As someone has put it, how can I improve my church by becoming unfaithful? It's quite a challenge. If there's one thing that has destroyed Christian loyalty, it is the invention of the internal combustion engine, which gives most people a choice of 40 churches and makes supermarket Christians shopping around. And the last question, have you an ambitious view of your future? How much are you motivated by the hidden manna and the white stone? How much are you excited by the thought of being a pillar in the temple of your God and going out no more? How much are you motivated by the thought of getting a new name? How much do these promises and rewards which Jesus offers as an incentive, how much do they actually mean to you, if anything? They ought to be the prize, just as you watch the Olympics and see those people straining and training to get just a medal. And here we're offered these things as the incentive to run the race looking to Jesus. Have you an ambitious view of your future? Do these things motivate you? Or is Jesus just offering things in which we're not interested? Now, I think these are the 4 questions that these letters leave us with to ask and answer honestly. Have you an adequate view of your Lord? Have you an accurate view of your church? Have you an accountable view of your duty? I think this video is going to keep many people in the churches they're in and to overcome. If they can't overcome for the church, they can at least overcome for themselves. And finally, have you an ambitious view of your future, like Jesus, who endured the cross and despised the shame for the joy set before him? Do these rewards touch your heart and say, I want that. I'm going for it. I'm going to have it.